Couple quick reminders for you guys, and you're going to want to make sure you check out the dash cam today. What's going on, everybody? Sam here with another safety update. You've come to know and love them, and I've got another one for you. Some of you just kind of like them. Maybe you don't love them, but I try to make them entertaining, so hopefully they are for you. And if not, you'll give me feedback. I know you will. So anyways, moving on. Benefits, okay? I'm sure you've seen the countless emails from Mandy. The benefits are due, I believe, at the end of this week. Okay, you have to re-enroll. This isn't like a one and done type deal. You got to do this every year, kind of like taxes. Hopefully that's not news to some of you out there that you have to do your taxes every year. But if you have questions about benefits and how to do it, how to enroll in them, what they are, make sure to reach out to Mandy. She can help you out. I know she's doing a bunch of webinars and like live chat things this week. So if you can jump onto one of them via Zoom or Teams or whatever, if you can jump into one of those, that'd be great. She'd be more than happy to have you and ask any questions you got. But make sure that you get enrolled in benefits here this week, because after this week, it's done. Okay, no benefits for you. You do not get, I guess, I don't know. But just make sure you get it done this week, okay? Because I think if you don't, it gets screwy. So get them done this week. Okay. Also, you've seen it. A lot of you have been in it. We're in winter. So make sure that you have everything that you need for winter driving, okay? And the big one I'm talking about is the additives for the fuel, okay? So make sure that so there's two types of additives. You have there's the regular fuel additive and then the diesel 911. The additive is what you add before anything gels up, okay, before you have a problem. So make sure that you're using that one and not diesel 911, which is for when your fuel is already gelled up, okay? So make sure you have some of that. If you need some, stop by the parts department at the shop there, and they've got it for you. So it's getting cold out there. We've also had some questions about the bunk heaters and things like that. If you have questions about how those really operate, make sure that you contact the shop as well. They can kind of walk you through that. And I think I'll be making a video on those as well and kind of give you a step-by-step on how those bunk heaters operate. But they can help you out in a pinch as well. But make sure that when temperatures are dropping, you got the right stuff in your fuel tank. Also, remember what we said, I think last week or the week before, when it comes to your DEF system. Do not fill that thing up all the way, okay? If you do, some stuff can freeze, then we got some major issues going on with like pumps and stuff like that. So when you're doing DEF this winter, make sure you're only filling it up to about 80%, okay? That way we won't have any issues. So if you got questions about any of that, contact the shop or feel free to contact me and I'll be more than happy to pass you off to the shop. So also, real quick, 'tis the season. We're coming into Christmas now, got done with Thanksgiving, but 'tis the season for extra traffic out on the road. A lot of people traveling now for the weekends, even during the weeks, going up to see family, friends, whatever. There's more traffic out there, guys. Please, please, please be mindful of that, okay? Give yourself extra space. These cars, some of these people are city folk, okay? They don't drive very often. They don't drive in the interstates very often. They don't know how to drive. You've seen that. So please make sure that you're being extra cautious from now until, well, make sure you're being cautious all the time, but make sure, just pay a little extra attention now to the end of the year, because there's going to be a lot more traffic on the road, and there's going to be a lot more, I shouldn't say a lot more, but there's going to be more semis on the road that are under more of a time crunch. A lot of carriers are delivering for Amazon right now and the mail, and they are under time crunches. So they might be doing some things kind of erratic. Please make sure that you're keeping an eye on them. Give yourself some extra space. If it's snowy or potentially icy, make sure you give yourself plenty of room, because these cars and these semi trucks that are under grueling demands might not be doing the most safe behavior out on the road. Does that make sense? So give yourself some extra space, give yourself some extra time. If people are acting erratically, I've said this 100 times, just get away from them, okay? You're never going to win in that situation. So just make sure you give them plenty of room, let them get away. And like I said, just be very cautious now through the end of the year of the extra traffic that will be on the road. Okay, cool. Now, let's take a look at some dash cam. And a lot of you have heard about this one. And today we're actually going to take a look at it. Okay, so you know how I said just a second ago that people don't necessarily know how to drive? We're gonna see that today here. So let's take a look at this. This is out of Chicago. We're on 294. If you've been on that road, you know that that is just kind of an extreme road in the city. I mean, it's a speedway. I mean, people are just nuts on this one. So let's take a look at this one. Play here. Semi-truck. We're doing everything great. We're in the correct lane. We're not speeding. Got this little blue car coming in front of us, and he misses his exit. We got the side view here. That's a very, very violent collision. As you could tell, I mean, that was a hard hit. Now, I could say everyone was okay in the accident, but this just kind of goes to show, even when you're doing everything correct, stuff still happens. And this is why I'm saying, you know, be extra cautious. Now, maybe you can see something. I can't see anything of where we could have predicted this and avoided it. I mean, it is quite frankly, this blue car that was trying to get around us missed their exit. And even still, like once they got past this, like they still had time to get it. They just turned slow. I don't know. They weren't paying attention. That's the only thing I could think of. They didn't realize that there was, you know, the exit had the hard line to it. I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking. But because they weren't thinking, we were involved in a pretty significant accident that really hammered our equipment pretty good. So this is what I'm saying. Just use extra caution out there. Even when you're doing stuff right, stuff can still go wrong. And this is why I always preach safety. This is why I always preach compliance to you guys. Because here's the deal. Even though this wasn't our fault at all, I mean, even the cops said it, no citations, no nothing. This was not us, okay? This was 100%. We're 10% responsible for this accident just because we were on the road, okay? That's just how it goes. But here's the deal when it comes to safety and compliance with stuff like this. We're still going to get looked at. Like the officers will still look at our permit books. They'll still look at our log books and things like that just to make sure that we're not doing anything wrong. So this is why I always preach safety and compliance to you guys. Make sure that your log books are correct because you have absolutely no clue when this is going to happen to you. I guarantee the driver of this truck had absolutely no idea when he started driving that morning that he was going to be involved in a massive accident that would essentially, ruin his truck. He didn't know that. It just happens so quickly. Now, if he was driving this truck and he was over his 14 hours or over his 11 hours or running on personal conveyance, when he shouldn't have been, he would have gotten written up for that. And the other person or the other car that was involved in that, they would have found out. I guarantee you, they would have found out. And all of a sudden now we've got a legal issue on our hand because that other car will find a lawyer, will find one of those ambulance chasing lawyers that loves to go after trucking companies. And they'll come back to us and say, if you weren't on the road, this wouldn't have happened. You might think that's crazy, guys, but that is actually what happens out there. A lot of the times when big rigs are involved in accidents, I shouldn't say they usually, but a lot of times they don't really, it's not their fault. It's just that somebody was behind the wheel of that big rig that shouldn't have been on the road at that time. And lawyers are very good at finding out that information. So that's why I always preach safety and compliance. Make sure that when you're on the road, you're doing everything correctly because you have absolutely no idea. You have no idea when something like this is going to happen, okay? And by the time it already happens, it's too late. I mean, by the time that blue car comes across, there's nothing we could have done. We could say, oh no, boom. He would have hit. And this is an experienced driver, okay? This guy knows what he's doing. It just happens so quickly and very violently. So make sure that when you're on the road, that your logbooks look correct, that you're not running in violation, that if you are running under PC, that you're doing it in a legitimate reason. Because if something like this happens, they're going to look at you, okay? Even though it's not your fault, they're still going to look at you. You're going to get inspected, okay? So make sure, like I said, that your log books are correct. Make sure that your permit books are correct too. We've had a couple incidences. I should really stop using that word because I'm no good at it. We've had a few times where we've been pulled over and one of the permit books had an old insurance card in it, didn't have a new one. Guys, keep an eye on that stuff, okay? I really tried to make sure everything is up to date, but you know, there's almost 200 trucks out there. Sometimes a couple things fall through the cracks on that kind of stuff. So make sure that your permit books are up to date as well. Go through them real quick. I know there's a couple permits that are expiring at the end of the year. We're working on that. We've got the renewals in. We're just waiting for the copies to come through because usually, you know, government stuff, they require you to mail stuff in like they've never heard of email before. So we're working with that. We've got new permits coming, but just double check your permit book, okay? Make sure that everything that's in there isn't expired. And if it is, let me know, okay? I've got all the permits you need and I can send them out to you or I can print them out. So, but again, even when you're doing everything right, bad stuff can happen. Make sure that you are in the right when stuff like this does happen. Make sure that your logs look good. Make sure your permit books look good. Make sure you got triangles in the truck. You know, make sure you just got that safety equipment in there because we had to shut down in a lane because of this. So we had to go put triangles out so that there wouldn't be a bigger accident and then more potential legal issues falling into this. So anyways, guys, this was a pretty significant accident on 294. And again, just be extremely cautious out there. Again, I don't think there's anything that our driver could have done differently to avoid this. I really don't. If you do, let me know. But I mean, it's just bing, bang, boom, it hits. So be careful out there, guys. Okay, now, like I said, with more traffic getting out on the roads and them getting to destinations quicker, just please be very careful out there so we don't have stuff like this happening, okay? Because there's a lot of time. Insurance gets involved. That truck is down now. I mean, there's just, even when it's not our fault, accidents like that are a pain in the neck for everybody, for you, for us, for everybody. I mean, there's just a lot of moving parts when it comes to that stuff. So anyways, be careful out there, guys, okay? Like I said, more traffic's going to be out there. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about any of this, you know how to get a hold of me. Contact information is at the bottom. And as always, I know you might be sick of me saying this, but I'm going to keep saying it anyways. Make sure that when you're out there, you drive safe.